Okay, we're ready to roll. Welcome everyone to Sunday Night Sessions. I'm Tracy Jameson along with my co-host Val Smith. And we're just going to be chatting about tonight. We never know what we're going to say, what direction we're going to go. But I always like to say a disclaimer that it may not always be politically correct, and not to talk about politics. I'm sure we've had enough of that. But we certainly do entertain, and we do touch on subjects that matter the most. So, Val, I think that we can all agree that it's been a pretty emotionally charged week. And, I had a lot of conversation about, just kind of, my take on the whole thing was we talked about it pertaining to business and about what, people needing to be emotionally, mentally tough.
Yes.
And I think that in pertaining to our industry, the network marketing industry, we had some conversations with people today, and there is a certain ebb and flow in the business. And I think that, people got to get taken up into the ebb and the flow, and it's really great when it's flowing, but sometimes it does ebb a little bit. And so I think that people need that emotional component to business, I think, is a very difficult thing for people to manage. And I always said, I come from the corporate industry, and I always said that business is not emotional. However, our industry is emotional because we're building on relationships, and we're building with people, and we're listening to their woes, and we're listening to their challenges. And when we're coming with having an answer for them and offering hope for whatever it is that they need to resolve. So it's a real delicate balance, I think, and it's a very difficult thing for, I think, some people to manage, because I think it's very easy to get caught up in the emotional. I think sometimes it's trauma for people, and we can certainly see that through what has happened over this course of this last week. There's definitely been a lot of emotional trauma for people, and so being able to manage that and being able to use it properly, to manage it properly, to use it but not get consumed by it, and I think that's a really big component to our industry. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking about being consumed, we're not here to talk about politics or religion, but there's so much to learn from what's transpired over the last 2 years, but more so in the last 30 days. So much just really went down so quickly, and it's almost like I think everyone's kind of feeling, we talked about the word hangover. There's a little bit of a hangover out there, unless you're able to separate yourself and just say, hey, you know what? I don't even listen to that. I don't watch TV. I don't listen to the news. I don't read all that stuff on the news feeds. I go about my business and doing things, and I respect that. But you know what? There's still a lot to learn. The thing that really shocked me, just in understanding the internet is a very juvenile, dysfunctional environment in the business community. And I'm not saying that to be, malicious. It's just a fact. It's just that we've got all these people out there that want to have a home-based business, but they have no business acumen. We have a lot of people out there that want to make money, but they have no business skills. And so the really interesting thing is with what happened in the United States. And you know what? I got to be honest about something. I really envy what happened, for our American friends. And I mean, I'm ignorant. I'm not a politician. I don't know all the issues and, the responsibilities and everything that go on behind the scenes. But I'm excited because of the drastic change. And I want so badly for our industry to change too. I want to get the status quo out of this industry. And I've been preaching this for 20 years, that most of the stuff being taught in the industry is bogus. And the terminologies, I think, I think we need to all get together and write a book for those that really care and change the language of this industry. Get the stereotypical, goal setting stuff out, and duplication, and the automated type systems. And I'm excited. I'm going back and forth here, but I'm excited for America. People that live in the U.S., I am really excited for you all, because now you've got leadership down there that has a real solid business background with business influence. I'm really curious as to where it's all going to go, because normally a politician says what they want to say, and they get voted in, and then they screw everything up. Nothing happens. But I think there's going to be some things down there I don't know if it's good, the bad, the ugly, whatever, but it kind of reminds me of this, our industry, because our industry needs a rude awakening, a shock value in some which way, shape, or form to wake people up and to really smell the roses and to see how juvenile the real world got, the animosity, the anger. It was almost like the internet, like those bogus scam sites on the internet, those bogus review sites. They'll take a rich person's famous name and they'll say they did this, they did that, or whatever. It's like that in the real world with the presidency. It was almost like these bogus sites all coming back up, and it was like, these witch hunts. And then you see people out there, smashing windows and flipping cars, and the college students, got babied by professors. They don't have to study anymore, or, prepare for a test because they're all depressed. I mean, you've got to be kidding me. How foolish is that? And it's the same stupidity, the same, pathetic structures that are in place on the internet. The internet, people, we have this entitlement mentality, and nobody wants to do the work. Now, the students don't want to do the work. People don't want to contribute. The same in the internet. And Steph said this once before. She said, leadership is divided in this industry. Leadership should be coming together to communicate, talk, and not little cliquey groups of leadership, but take people that have drastic different views, bring them together. That's when you have a powerful effect. But when you have people that are on the same wavelength, nothing changes. You need two drastics. You need two tidal waves to hit each other. And so in the real world, to see this massive dysfunction, this juvenile mentality, attitudes of anger and hatred and bitterness, and, some of the statements are being made. It was almost like being in school again at age 14. Well, my dad's bigger than your dad. My dad's God, and he's going to come over and beat up your dad. That's the type of stuff. To see that in the real world, I mean, that's crazy. And that's the world of the internet. But there's so much to learn from all that. Like, we're not sitting here to have a bitch session about what took place. This is all fabulous because you can learn from these incredible experiences. You can learn about people's pain. You can learn about people's pleasure. You can discover people's hot buttons. And now I think more than ever, once the hangover kind of wears off and people just kind of accept what took place, I think recruiting is going to be fabulous, because I think people are going to get ready to get back to work and get something done because they're motivated, because they're peeved off. And that's when you get your best performance out of people. Give them something to get peeved off about. And people are going to be looking at money now because they're afraid. They're scared. They don't know what changes are going to be made. They don't know how it's going to affect their income. They don't know how it's going to affect their long-term well-being. And so, this is an angle for us as marketers to capitalize. And if you take a look at, Mr. Trump, Donald Trump's angle, what did he do? And we saw Peter put out a nice video. Trump capitalized on social media, and that shows you how powerful social media is. And when you see some of the marketers here, some of the marketers that we have, and Steph happens to be on the line here, so I'll use Steph. Steph capitalizes on social media. I do. Tracy, you do. Not as much as you should, but because you're running the ship. You're doing all the responsible stuff. But when you come out, look out. Like, Tracy did an amazing post last week. It had, like, I don't know how many shares, like probably well over 20 or something. It created a conversation that was awesome. So right now, the best time to capitalize on building your business is when people get fired up. People need to be fired up about something. And when they just kind of go through life like, oh, comfortable, and everything's comfortable, and yes, we got our politician in, or we know whatever happened, and you don't ever want to be in that comfort zone. It's really hard to build a business in a comfort zone. It really, really is. So to see a lot of the incredible changes going to take place, to see the power of social networking, celebrities, $500 million spent in advertising, all kinds of wasted money wasn't able to beat social media. And that's pretty amazing when social media totally wipes out, power and money and celebrity. It's got to tell you something. So, the really important thing and again, we'll just reiterate what Peter said, is that the biggest thing that I think was missing in the social media campaigns with Trump was in the list building part of it. He had that, but the communication was they would send an email out. And I think this validates what we say about autoresponders. What does an autoresponder do? It's a mechanism that sends out email. But the reason why it's so Jurassic Park now, I believe, so dinosaur-like, is because the video component is missing. Now, can you put a video email in an autoresponder letter? I'm sure you can, right? You can put a link in there to spark it up. But imagine having a campaign where you send out video and you're talking to the people. And it's personalized by you. They're seeing you. You know, just as we're doing this live feed tonight, we could do this live feed every Sunday without doing a live feed. We could send you all out an email. You know, just say, hey, guys, here's our training for Sunday night. Here's our issue. Here's our rant. Here's our session. You know, and put it on 16 pages of paper that you'll never read. But really, you know, like it won't even get open.
Yeah.
But the beautiful thing is we have a place, a forum, an environment, a community that works just like the real world. What were they doing? They were selling each other's image. They were selling, you know, their ideas, their ideologies about how their leadership, their philosophies would run. And one of the candidates obviously didn't have a powerful enough message. It sounded like the same old, same old, same old. So the population obviously said, boring, you know, we want drastic change. And I think the people that will be attracted to us and our campaigns in marketing and getting the message out is drastic change. And that's what makes Mentoring Millionaires so different, is we are a platform for drastic change. And our communication is live and in spirit, where a lot of other people, they do copy and paste, or he said, she said, and they'll just post things or send out emails about things with no integrity, no factual data. Always go to the source. If you want to evaluate something, if you want to find out information about something, don't go to unqualified sources. The information that I would want is, if I have a question, I go to Tracy. If I have a question, I go to Daryl. If I have a question, I go to Ralph Miller. I don't speculate, think, and copy and paste. You know, and that's a part of marketing. This is what I'm talking about, is marketing. If I've got a question, I go right to Rhonda. You know, Rhonda, what's up? I've got a question. I don't understand this. Can you kind of lay this out for me? Lay the blueprint. What are you thinking? And that's what I would do, and Rhonda will communicate that back in her way. And I went right to the source. That way, there's no kind of maybe anything. So people marketing right to the source, getting your video out there, and you know, capitalizing. Just study what took place. Not here to talk about politics tonight, but look at the model, look at the dynamics, and look who came out the winner, considering the chances of that person closing the American population. They said 85% said it was done. He wasn't going to win. And this is not about winning or losing. Your campaign is the same way. How are you going to get your campaign out to people? What is your message? Are you going to beat the odds, or are the odds stacked against you? So, you know, this is why we have to evolve. This is why we created this community, to evolve, grow, and do things that are uncomfortable. And part of being uncomfortable is sacrifice. You know, sacrificing your emotions, sacrificing being nervous and scared. You know, it's sometimes you just got to do the things you have to do. I remember one time, I got so much data information, but I remember one time, this has nothing to do with marketing, but I went to college to be a child care worker. I went to college, worked in group homes with kids, $18,000 a year, no dough in doing that, worked with social workers, but I was at the bottom of the barrel because I was a child care worker, But I'll tell you something, I was damn good. I was better than the scholastic ones because in the field, I just had a God-given talent for it. I wasn't great scholastically as a studious kid. I was bored. I hated the classroom. But put me in the home, put me in there with the kids, the family. I mean, it was great. I loved it. But I remember one time we had this facility that I was in, and all the kids were swimming in a pool. And there was only one adult supervision, honestly, for about 27 kids in the pool. And the kids are, these aren't normal kids. I mean, they're normal kids, but they're special needs kids. They're aggressive. They've been taken from their homes. They want to be loved, but they've got anger and stuff. And sometimes they're a little rough on each other. So one kid's getting his head pushed in underneath the water. And I'm watching this for a second, and then all of a sudden I turned around. I didn't even think about it. No time to analyze. I was in the water with a suit on. I had full tie, shoes, suit, bam, in the water, all within a second, right? And I'm just saying that sometimes you've got to make these rapid decisions in your life. Sacrifice. I felt uncomfortable. I didn't think like, hey, man, I'm going in the deep end of a pool with a suit on. I've never done that before, not even for a joke, not even at a party after having a few drinks. I would never do that. But I'm just saying I did something that I felt uncomfortable doing, but I didn't have time to think about it. This was a child that I saw was in trouble underneath the water, panicking, and I just had to go, right? And I'm saying that sometimes we have to do the same thing in marketing. We just have to let go and challenge the element and do what's uncomfortable. But I'll tell you something, the moral to the story was not that I went in with a suit on, but I can't begin to tell you the gratitude, the feeling, the self-esteem I had because people said, oh, that was unbelievable what you did. And, I felt good. I just didn't feel like I was a participant. I felt like a hero. And every time we are marketing, you want to be the hero. Hopefully, unless you're a money grab person, don't give a crap about people. But we always want to be a hero. At least in my school of thought is to be a hero. For someone to say, hey, you know what? I like that person. They were really good. No matter what anyone else thinks. No, my opinion about them is good because of this. You know what I mean? And that's being a hero. So we have an opportunity here at Mentoring Millionaires to be heroes, step our game up, do the unbelievable, do the unthinkable in your life. And then when you do it once, I'll tell you something, you won't be afraid to do it again. And just going back to the first time I did a conference call and I was puking all over myself and having an anxiety attack and nobody knew what was going on. Thank God there was no video. This is like back in late 89 or 90. And you know what? The beautiful thing is, as much as I went through emotional pain and I had tears in my eyes after I did the call because I thought I was embarrassed and like, nobody knows what's going on. But you know what? There was still a part of me after I did the call that said, oh my God, I did it. I did it. I want to do it again. I want to do it again, but I can't do. I don't want to do it the way I did it there. I wouldn't mind taking a 60-second part, and then that 60 seconds would become 3 minutes or 4 minutes. But once you guys and gals get through that stage of just doing it, like Rhonda, you know what? Rhonda's there. I'd love to see Rhonda speak because I heard her audio this week for Rhonda stepped up to the plate, did an RBM. She's got an incredible voice. And then I went to her website just out of curiosity to see where she's sending these people. And then I saw her standing at a pulpit. I think it was a pulpit. And she had a microphone in front of her. And I thought, man, like, okay, this is another great talent that, we've got on board here. We got to unleash this lady and let her rock it out, see what she's got. So these are the beautiful things. And as much as that might feel uncomfortable and even being edified, all of you, I'm just going after Rhonda here. We love, it's just loved her potential with what I saw. These are baby steps, guys. So you just come in, you talk a little bit, and then, oh my God, you're going to be a leader in this industry. I went through hell and back just to get to where I'm at today, but I only went through that hell for a short period of time because once I did it, I fell in love with it, and the pain I was going through for like a year and a half, I'd throw up before conference calls for a year and a half. I'd go in the bathroom, stick a toothbrush down my throat, tell you personal stuff, because I felt I had to get everything out of my stomach because my first experience was I did throw up. All right. And so what I would do is I'd make sure my stomach was empty and just, I didn't have any, anxiety in my throat where I'm choking and gagging. You got to get the gags, right? If you're eating and so you go through those are my psychotic things that I had to go through. But now, like I remember Steph Perez back in 2007. All right. She's not the same Steph Perez that you see on Facebook now. Steph is like, I'm just saying it. Steph is a major player. She's a major flipping leader. Rhonda, that's you. You're not there yet, but you just got to give yourself permission to be there. You got the great looks. You got an incredible voice. I heard your voice, so nobody can tell me anything different. And once you step up, lady, you're going to be fire and brimstone once you go through whatever you need to go through and do it. And Daryl, you'll want to do the same thing too. Little tiny steps. Just get on a video. Ralph, you'll want to do it too. Everybody on there. Bill Jackley used to be a quiet dude at one time. And now he's hung around us for a couple of years, and we can't get Bill to stop talking now. That's how cool he is, So you feel comfortable. And the beautiful thing about what we're doing here in Mentoring Millionaires is we're going to teach you how to run a country, never mind a company. I'm saying that in a fun, loving way, of course, but you guys are the future. You guys are the future, and it doesn't matter how old you are. I'm 53, and Tracy's 18, and Steph's 22, and Rhonda's 12, I think, and Ralph's only 7. But we're the future. It doesn't matter where we are in the biological clock. We've got the mind of a child, and we've got the heart of a lion. And we get out there and we crank this out. This is your life. This is your show. What's going on to the left, what's going on to the right doesn't matter. What anybody thinks, this is your life, this is your show, and you live it on your terms. And I'm saying that to you because sometimes when the world feels like it's coming down on you and you feel like the odds are against you, I just look back and see what happened in the election again. I don't mean to keep bringing that up all the time. But you know what? It was a foregone conclusion that your winner was nowhere close to winning, and all the odds were stacked, and they knew they lost. They were prepared with a concession speech, a consolation prize, and whatever. But somehow a miracle happened for them, and I'm not here to judge. I don't know anything about those two people, but your miracle has yet to come. But your miracle is yet to come for all of you. But you know what? You've got to step out for that miracle to take place. Hiding behind the veil, staying behind the veil, it's just not going to work. So some of you, as we get to know you, get to hang with you, as much as you study Tracy and I, believe you me, we study you. We're not just here yapping. We look at the body language on video. We look at the eye contact. We see what's going on. We see who's in communication with us, who's not in communication with us. We can see how many times people logged into their back office. So when somebody says, I don't know what the product is, Tracy can just go look. In 15 seconds, you can say they've only been to their back office 0 times. Oh, really?
Yes.
And then yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I can't. You can't snow.
Yeah, well, I haven't got my product yet, but you got a username, you got an email, and you emailed us from the back office, but yet you haven't gone to the back office yet, is what you're trying to tell me. Yeah. You've been in the back office 3 times. So all these things are important. Your action, your plan, and your business. How involved are you? If you're going to get into a business, guys, it's not just, hey, man, I joined this business. In anything, MLM or anything, you've got to be a product of the product. And in this case, the product is you. There's just data and information in the back office that will make your experience a little bit better, easier, but the product's going to be you. Nobody's going to come to you. Nobody is going to come to you and send you money. It's not going to happen until you step out. You know what I mean? You got to step out on the curb. If you're sitting down on the sidelines, nobody's going to come.
No.
You might.
Do you know?
If you see the dudes on the side of the road with the cardboard, hi, I'm hungry. God bless you. Could you please give me money? The only time those people make money is when they're standing out on the curb. But when they sit down on the wall, nobody gives them money. When they sit out in the background, they don't get their $1 or $2 people throw at them at a traffic light. But they've got to take action. They got to stand there, put themselves in position So are you in position to stake your claim? Are you in position to start making money right now? You've got to be in a position to make money. So when you join these business opportunities, if you're not putting yourself in position to make money, who's going to throw you $2? Who's going to throw you $5? We don't know you. You don't exist. You know, just because you spent money and you're in a business opportunity doesn't mean you're in business. You're in business when you put yourself in position to run your business accordingly. And give directives. You come to these calls, listen, give people some directives. Okay? Give people directives, small directives at first. You know, create a little instructional guide or something like that if you're good at being organized. I am totally disorganized. I'm useless. That's why I've got Tracy.
Well, you know what, Dal? On that note, if I might, excuse me for butting in, but I do.
Go ahead. I'm done.
Well, you know, it really is, and it's funny because, you know, again, watching the campaigning and all that kind of stuff, you know, I'm all about efficiencies, and you know that. Like, we talk about all the time, and we'll talk about a very broad spectrum of things, and then, you know me, I like to hone in and say, okay, how is this going to work? How are we putting it together? I need to know where the dots connect so that we can insert the people in between those dots so that we can assist them as best we can. And I mean, you talk about your story about jumping in the pool in your suit. You had to be efficient, because if you just stopped and thought about it for, you know, 10 minutes and I'm going to go and take my suit and my shoes off and, you know, and go get a towel and then jump in the pool. And of course, then, you know, who knows what could have happened by then. So, you know, there's a reason why you need to be efficient. I mean, it's cost effective, and you need to be able to do things to get things moving. And that was one of the things, you know, Val and I, we analyze people, we watch people, we learn from people, as everyone here should. And that was one of the things that I learned from the campaigning, from the presidential campaigning, was how efficient, how very different the two campaigns were, how one party spent, you know, $500 million on traditional television commercials and all of those things that were traditional, and yet had an enormous, I think she had something like 360 people paid on staff, and then yet Trump only had 60 some odd people paid on staff, and he spent 90% less on his campaigning. He did it all through social media. Obviously, he had a team of people doing that, knowing what they were doing. But again, like, analyzing and watching to see exactly what was efficient. So this industry is no different, because, you know, we are giving you all the tools to do everything and all of the training to do it, and the you know, be efficient, put yourself on a schedule of doing things, of learning, showing up and doing things, because it's very easy, especially when you're your own boss in this industry, when you become an entrepreneur. If you've left that 9-to-5 job, you've got somebody that's told you to show up at 9 o'clock, you know, you hang your coat, you get to your desk at 9 o'clock, you've got a bunch of filing to do, you know, you got this, and then at 11 o'clock you can go for lunch, and 2 o'clock go for coffee, and then whatever time you go home. So you're very structured in what you do. So, you know, a company makes you efficient because they're paying you a wage to do so. So you have to make sure that they want to maximize you at the time they have you sitting at your desk. Well, you have to think the same way. You have to think like you're your own business owner, and you need to make sure you're efficient. So if you don't, you know, you start your business, you know, and you want to go and find out exactly what you have. You know, we've got great training, but all that stuff in the back office that we keep telling you, it's consumable, and that's what it's meant to be. So, and Val's right. I can tell exactly how many times you've logged in, when your last time you logged in. You know, it's all there in black and white. So we know, and we watch people, how they interact and whether they don't interact, and who shows up and who participates. And I can tell you from my experience, you know, the people that continually show up, the ones that really make those efforts, are the ones that ultimately succeed. And, you know, that's not rocket science. It's just not rocket science. If you don't show up, you don't know what's going on, you don't stay plugged in, you don't come to any of the calls, And then, I'll get a random message and somebody will ask me something and I'm going like seriously, like that boggles my mind. And for me, that's not efficient because those questions are very easily answered if you had taken part in the group, come to the calls, listened, at least listen to the recordings. And I get it. People have jobs, people have lives, they have families, they've got appointments, they've got all those other things to do. But you know what? The bottom line is we're doing everything for you because it's recorded, it's there. I mean, we're holding your hand, we're emailing it, we're putting in the group, we've got people there that can answer your questions. And it boggles me that people want so desperately to have change, and yet it's the biggest thing they resist. And I don't think that it might be on a subconscious level or a conscious level. I don't know which one it is, but they say one thing and they do exactly the opposite. And yet nothing will change if that particular pattern doesn't change. And so that's what I'm talking about, the efficiencies. Look at what you have going on around you. If you need to have somebody to be accountable to, Val and I are accountable to each other. And, we meet every day. We have our discussions, our business discussions, what we've done. And it's no different like in the corporate world I came from. The week that is, the week that was, and the week that will be. What have we accomplished? What do we need to improve on? And where do we need to go tomorrow to improve for our members and for our business activity? So, you have to analyze everything you do. You have to analyze, are you being honest with yourself? Are you really putting in a real effort? Because I would have to say, honestly, every single person can do a heck of a lot better. And, I'm good at looking at myself in the eye. And I'll tell you, probably one of the very best things that ever happened to me that scared the hell out of me in my corporate world, that we did performance reviews on a regular basis. And the upper management would take you out, sit you down, have a cup of coffee, and then they would go over your performance. I mean, literally, they peel you apart piece by piece on your personality skills, your leadership skills, your business skills, what you've produced, your efficiencies, and everything. And I remember the very first one I went to, I was scared to death. And I said, do I need to bring a box of Band-Aids with me? Because I thought I was going to be torn to pieces. But the funny thing was, the real funny thing was that I already knew what they were going to say. I already knew what they were going to say. And you know what? It wasn't as bad as I had expected. All it did was it actually made me be honest with myself because I already knew what they were going to say. I knew I needed to listen better. I knew, there was some communication things or whatever, but that's all in the process of learning. And I can tell you that became one of the most liberating moments of my entire life. And I looked forward to them after that because you know what? I wanted to get better. And you can't get better subjectively. You have to be objective, and you need to have other people be around you to be able to draw that out of you. Because you know what, you can tell yourself all day long that you're the best Joe Schmo from here left to Sunday, and you know what, you can keep kidding yourself all day long. What does your paycheck tell you? Because the paycheck is the ultimate checks and balances for you. And if you're not making any money, that's what's telling you whether you need to go and take a look in the mirror and maybe do a little bit of self-discovery. And I'm telling you, if you are, it's hard, it's scary, but I can tell you it is the most liberating thing you'll ever do in your life, because when you start getting over that hump, like Val was talking about, the toothbrush down the throat and the fear and the scare. And I remember in my first presentations that I did, your mind goes literally blank and you are so scared and your mouth goes dry and you write a few notes and then maybe you'll have somebody to help you along. But you know what? You're never as bad as you thought you were. It only seems like that on the inside. So it's just, you have to get over it. You have to learn the fundamentals. You have to do these things. But first of all, you have to be honest with yourself, because you know what? Nobody else cares about that unless you've got somebody that's going to push you. If you've got a mentor, you've got them here. We're going to push you. But we can't push air. We can't push the people that don't show up. We can't push and help and assist and mentor the people that are sitting having coffee down the street and we'll do it tomorrow, because tomorrow will kill your business, because tomorrow never comes. Every day tomorrow is gone, and that can go by in a very short period of time. And so, you know what? Some days we had a presentation last Monday. Val had problems with his internet, and we just rolled with it, because that's what leaders do. He said, you know what? We're just going to go ahead with the presentation that Steph and I did. It was a lot of fun. And so you have to give yourself over to the fact that, you know what, you're probably going to suck now and again. It's okay. We all do. But you know what? You'll get better, you'll get better, you'll get better. And those efficiencies, like I've talked about, you know what? Just take a good hard look at what's going on around you. You know what? Turn off Facebook, for Pete's sakes. I mean, it's eaten up more time this last week with all the comments. And I'm guilty of it. You know what? But I've made some great connections and had some really good conversations with people. You know what? We've built a relationship. We've had an opportunity now to, take the conversations in a different area. Now that everything's going to maybe calm down a little bit over a period of time, that's fine. But now you've opened up an area of having communications with people. So, there's a lot to be learned by watching other people, and it's not just leaders. It's everyone. Because you know what? Everybody has a shining star in them, if they allow that to happen, if they're willing to really do the work and really step up. So I don't know, Val, you got something on that?
It's something kind of close to that, I guess. Just going back to Facebook, because we all get sucked into it. But it's the right place to be, and we're going to put time into that. But I was thinking, Tracy, as you were going along, I'm just thinking about the campaigns, because all those campaigns were as marketing. And we as marketers, we create marketing campaigns. So I would say to everybody, here's a little bit of homework for you all tonight. If I were to go on Facebook, right, and I'll probably end up doing this now that I thought of it, I'm going to go on Facebook and not get into a political conversation, although other people make it political. How can you attract a lot of people coming your way right now on Facebook? Put a question out there to all your marketing friends on your friends list. Say, anyone that is in marketing that's on my list, I would really like your opinion about the marketing campaigns that you experienced and witnessed in the election. What did you learn? What did you personally learn from that? Forget the personalities, forget the presidentness. What did you learn from the campaigns? Everyone's got an opinion. And since it's a really hot issue right now, why not make money off it? And then, you know what? And then you're going to start bringing, people will like it, and then all their people are going to see it, and their people are going to see it, and you're going to start a domino effect if you use the proper language, but create a sense of curiosity, create a sense of disruption in there too, in your paragraph, whatever you're going to put on your Facebook page there, and get people talking, and that will bring new people in your life. It'll bring stimulation into your Facebook page. And then who knows, people are going to say, well, hey, Regina, what do you do? Why did you come in that question? What is it you do? And then this is when you start conversing with people and start bringing them into your world about what it is you do, and that you're part of a community that basically, takes marketing and dissects it to the smallest denominator and shows people how to take all those little fragments and build them up correctly, all the little pieces to the puzzle, and build it correctly. You want to stir some action on your wall right now. Capitalize on the craziness that's going on out there, and start asking your marketing partners a question. And anything to do with those two characters or what happened, politics, people will have an opinion about the strategies, the methodologies, the marketing that was used. Rightly or wrongly, it doesn't matter. All right. But that is something that's going to bring people into your lives, for those of you that need to connect.
Well, Colin, here's something on that note, is that I think that probably people are more fearful or more unsure of their future right now, for the greater part, for a lot of people, that, there's always an alternative, and there's a door open to talk about, what they're doing, why they're doing it, and what they think about having alternatives as a home business, and not having to rely on being dependent on anything, right?
Absolutely. I think there's going to be a lot of people that may not have been so open will be open now just because of the fear and the insecurity and the not knowingness of what the next 4 years are going to be like, maybe 8 years, what they're going to be like. Now's the time to capitalize on it. There's going to be so many people that are going to be open to your ideas now more than ever, your comments, your opinion more than ever. And that gives you a chance to share your story. Tell people why you are considering a home-based business. Tell people why you're considering moving forward in a home-based business because of the future. This gives you, this is a big doorway. It's not about sitting there rapping about politics and getting caught. If you don't want nothing to do with the politicians, no problem. But be smart, strategize, and piggyback on the issue or issues plural. You have a big chance to have people ask you questions and establish. Remember, you're the number one domino. You are the domino. People come back. You're the source. You're the source of the distraction that you're sending out there, stimulating other people's people. And they're going to want to know what your stand is. My stand is I'm into free enterprise. My stand is I want to investigate free enterprise. My stand is I have no issues about making money. My stand is I have no issues about creating a better country. My stand is I have no problem being a marketing partner with you and bringing you into my world and showing you what it is I'm doing. Let me show you my plan. Does it really matter? You want to see my plan? Let me show you my plan. And these are things, because people don't have a plan on the internet, guys. They don't have a plan on the internet. They're just following everybody that says, hey, man, spillover. Hey, man, spillover. Hey, man, rotator. Hey, man, just throw $25 in here. Throw 75 here. Throw 120. Don't worry. Nobody has a plan. You know what I mean? You have to have that plan. So the reason why some of us have an attraction or people are attracted to us is because people want to associate with somebody or something that they can benefit from. In relationships, listen to what I'm going to tell you right now, in everything in life, there's a trade-off. Believe it or not, you might say, honey, I love you, and honey might say, honey, I love you back. But the truth is, your marriage, your relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend, significant others, that will all be challenged if you have nothing in common after a while and if you don't have enough bricks to trade. Relationships are based, unless you're just a real, charismatic, Christian, perfect person or religious perfect person to your doctrine and dogma, and you're willing to be unhappy or, sacrifice and, whatever. But I'll tell you, life is about trading. You do not align yourself with people that do not have something you don't want. They have to have something you want. And that's the reason why people will buy from you, Rhonda, you, Jerry, you, Beth, Eugene, Regina, Ralph, Daryl, Bill, Roger, Valerie. You have to have something they want, and you'll have money in your PayPal account. But if they don't see value, think about in high school or college when you dated somebody. When they didn't have value to you anymore, when they became more problematic in your life, more of a baggage in your life, you probably aren't with that person today, potentially speaking. So what we do is we seek out different people that have something that psychologically stimulates the association. They've got something I want. Could be good looks, personality, laughter, could be money, could be stability, a home. There's all kinds of dynamics. That's what your relationship, but once that's gone from your relationship, I don't care who you're married to, I'll say it myself too, once that's dead in a relationship, it's over, it's gone. And it's the same thing on the internet. People are with you. Do you know what a fair weather friend is? Look it up on the internet. Fair weather friend. Relationships on the internet are fair weather. As long as people can feed off you or you got something they want, you'll get their attention. But the minute you don't have anything to offer them, your PayPal dries up. You're in a business opportunity and you say, well, I got started in this business opportunity 4 months ago. I haven't made any money yet. Why haven't you made any money yet? Because people aren't attracted. You haven't brought nothing to the table yet, or I haven't brought nothing to the table yet. Why would somebody want to work with me if I'm not there? And that's why you don't want to tell people join business. Anybody can join a business opportunity. I don't want people to join me in anything. You want them to launch your business. Joining's easy. Throw $25 in and sit, watch the game. I don't want people to watch anything. I want people to come in here and stimulate and initiate and share their creativity and ideas, or at least take the ideas that we talk about and at least use them. You know what? The bottom line is all the crap they promise you on the internet, guys, gals, it's like this. Here's something I learned today. Have you ever heard of the name John Cougar Mellencamp? Right? He's a pretty cool singer, John Cougar Mellencamp. So John Cougar Mellencamp, and I think his songs are great, Jack and Diane and all that stuff. So John Cougar said my songs aren't as powerful as you'd think. He'd say, because I talk in my songs and in my lyrics, I talk about problems a lot in his storytelling and in his songs, and people don't like that. He said people don't like that. But he said his number one hit was Small Town. And the reason why his number one hit, that to him in his world that he lives in as a writer, creator of music, Small Town, the song Small Town, is because it brought people together. He talked about all the great things about living in a small town, which is kind of unfortunate because the internet kind of runs the same way. People gravitate to the things that I think are deceptive, the things that are based on untruths, and the things that are easy street, because they don't have to face themselves, right? They don't have to be a part of the equation. It's feel good. It's like drugs, alcohol, and sex addiction. It feels good, but it's unhealthy. You know what I mean? So the whole point being is facing the truth and little Jack and Diane in your life. I mean, it's true, The real world is real, and you're part of the real world, and you can never allow yourself to be taken out of the equation, ever. Or else you're just going to go through this industry, guys and gals, seeking, that perfect ebook, that perfect video that teaches you how to make money, or that perfect, new technology that it sells for you. You don't have to do anything because everyone's going to want it. It doesn't matter who you are. That's the biggest scam of all time, is telling people that there's the perfect something out there and you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to recruit. You don't have to sponsor. You don't have to talk. You don't have to engage. Just because you're associated to it, it's going to make you money. I'm sorry, money doesn't grow on trees. There's no osmosis technique here with the sun and oxygen and how it all works and water. You got a voice. You got a brain, you got a personality. You might not feel you have the charismatic skill set to do it, but you know what? Take baby steps at a time. You have to start somewhere. Baby steps at a time. And it's growing pains, And I'm thank God I don't have to stick a toothbrush down my throat anymore to come to these calls. It's just a beautiful feeling to just feel comfortable. It's second nature. Feel good in front of the camera. I don't care how I look in front of the camera. I don't even think about it. Just we talk, and this is why it's so important, guys and gals. I just keep reiterating the same thing, but I want you to engage. You've got a task, like Tracy said. There's a performance evaluation, and we can talk about that in 6 months. Let's see what you've done in 6 months. Let's see from tonight, where you are in 6 months. And that might mean saying something on this call. That might mean putting a few videos out there, in the Facebook group. You've got to do something, but just don't sit back and watch a kid drown in a pool. That was my attitude that night. Nobody else was doing anything, and as much as I didn't want to jump in the pool, clothes on, and wasn't even thinking that, I was in there. Don't sit back. All right, this is your life, and if you piss it away, excuse the language, you're making a big mistake, because when you get older in life, you can never go back to your 40s. You can never go back to your 30s. You can never go back to your 20s and fix it. It's gone. All right? It's gone. And that's why it's so important for everyone, myself, and I'm talking to myself when I do these calls, to make it happen. All right? No one's going to make it happen for you. But on the internet, they will try to tell you that don't worry about it, don't worry about it. But those scum-sucking bandits just want your money. And I have no problem calling them that, right? Because that's what I think they are, parasites. And not all of them, because some people learn the wrong information. But those that have their hidden agendas to take people's money, without telling them the truth, that they have to do work, that they have to be a part of the equation, that's wrong. That is criminal. That is criminal. And I have no time for that, all right? I don't have an issue about people making money and getting them in the business, but if you tell somebody that they just come into your program and they're going to get money for doing nothing, anybody that's doing that on the internet needs to, I'm not going to say, because it's not nice, but they need to go to somewhere, but it's not nice. It's not nice, but they still need to go there. It's not nice, and I'll push them. I'll push them there. But anyway, you know what I'm saying, right? Because you got to care. I care about every single. I don't know who you are, but I care about you. And Tracy and I value life, and Tracy and I understand the power of wasting time in life. Tracy and I, over the last few years, we've hung out with a bunch of losers, and I'm not talking about people on the internet. I'm talking about company owners. We've had some really bad company owners that we trusted, aligned ourselves with. And they just took advantage of. We don't want that for anybody anymore, all right? And that's part of the change that we really want. We want to create a change culture. So post some things on your Facebook or your Instagrams about changing the culture of our industry. What can we do to change the culture of our industry? Give people your honest thoughts of your experiences. Part of marketing is therapy. It really, really is. And it feels so good to be able to not be afraid to say what it is you really want to say and not worry about being judged. Okay? People judge you, so what? Who cares? Don't worry about it. But get your message out there. Okay? Get your message out there. Get your words out there. Does anyone want to say anything? Does anyone just want to say anything else? Because I'm pretty much done. I just wanted to talk about what did we learn from the election? What were the marketing strategies? What did we learn about people? What did we learn about pain, pleasure? What did we learn about society? All those things offer clues to success and, unfortunately, failure. So figure it out. Tracy, you got a few comments? You want
to? And you know what, Val, I think we've talked about this a few times, and we're going to make this a standard practice. I think that everybody should go home tonight with an assignment. You've pretty much lined it out there for everybody, laid it out there for everyone. And, we're going to start bringing some people, I believe, on the Sunday night sessions. I think it's a really good place for people because it's a real open format. Val and I don't script any of this. We don't plan it. We don't plan anything that we're going to say here. But I do think that the plan will be here maybe next Sunday or as we move forward is that the people that are really showing that they are really wanting to move forward, we're going to ask you to come forward in 30 seconds. You know what? That's not too scary. If you can get through 30 seconds, just introduce yourself, give a short testimonial. And I think that is going to be really something that's going to catapult you forward into the next level. And, we'll if you're absolutely fearful about doing, we don't want to give anybody any tremors or nightmares or anything over it either. But you know what? We're going to be watching you. We watch the people that are doing all the right steps. We watch you. We really do. And you know what? And those people, we're going to start drawing you out. Because you know what? You have a voice. We want to hear it. And we want to see your face. We want to see you be able to exercise that. And once you start doing it here, it'll be scary, but you know what? You're in a really good environment here. That's all you need to do. We'll give you 30 seconds. If you want to take a little bit more time, that's fine. But you know what? It's just about practicing. And this is a really great place for you to be able to do that. we don't want to consume up all the time. Not to say that we always don't have a lot of things to say, because we do. But the reason we have a lot of things to say is because we're always analyzing people. We're analyzing the industry. Where we get on a phone call. We had one earlier this afternoon, that I said, man, we should have recorded that one, because we get deep into conversations about things, about our opinions and our philosophies about things. And, you know, and it's about perspective about things. We don't always agree, but you know what? If I don't agree, then it's his job to explain his point of view so that I can understand it, and vice versa. And you know what? Then we come back and said, I see, I understand. And then you know what? That's what it's all about, because that's why people may not want to come together with you in business, is because they don't understand enough. They haven't heard enough. They don't understand what your message is, and they don't understand enough about you. So it really comes down to the practicing of your voice, your intonation, your smile, making people feel welcome, being able to bring a good message of hope across. I mean, if you're just in the chair, you know, and you know what? Your image speaks volumes. Your voice, your face, your eyes, how you look at people. People can read you in a heartbeat. You have to get out there, be enthused about what you're doing, and practice, practice, practice. Great place here to do it. So I think that we might start doing that, Val. What do you think?
Let me do this. Yes, absolutely. And other things too, because I know some of you probably don't necessarily want to hear these type of things all the time. You want Facebook training, Instagram training, some things like that. We can bring that into the equation here too, with you know, some guest speakers as well. We got connections to bring people in here. We can bring Todd Falcone in here, Jeff Mills, and anyone you want. I can get them to come in here too. We can do guest appearances on Sunday nights. We'll do all of that. We'll amalgamate all kinds of cool things. But we just what Tracy and I are doing and having our rant sessions on now is laying out the essence of a true foundation, and then we'll take everything else and build upon it. You got to have that foundation. You got to have that, that session where the coaches get in there and rant and rave, and this is what's going to do. And then now we'll get into the technique. So we'll bring all that stuff in here. You're probably looking for some ideas on Facebook and, some really cool little things you can be doing instead of, not making some money throughout the day, maybe a couple of techniques. So we'll bring some people in there and show you what they're doing. And there's so many great people we can bring in here on a Sunday night as well. Even Steph Perez is great. And then we can bring Tracy Walker in here, whoever. There's so many people that I have relationships with. We can bring all these people in and just give you some ideas, a couple ideas. And know this, they are in other business opportunities, but they're not going to be mentioning company names. They're not going to be pitching their deal. Obviously, I'll just set the stage of the psychology. What they get out of it is exposure, and they're going to hope that maybe you'll contact them and get on their newsletter and stuff and be influenced by them, whatever it is. But that's the journey. But the bottom line is you'll get some really good ideas out of some of these people as well, too. So it just won't be Tracy and I going off on this. There's going to be some really cool people here, really cool people that you'll be able to watch crank it out as well outside of us. So foundation is being laid now, the concrete, the solid foundation, and then we'll bring in, for the Christmas tree, we'll bring in all the ornaments. That'll be the guest speakers. They can be the ornaments and shine brightly on these calls on Sunday night as well too. I think you'll be really impressed with the way they posture, just study the way they posture, study the way they communicate, study the way they use transitional phrases. Just study and watch if you can see them swallowing or breathing or blinking, or just study all their body language. There's so much to learn through all of this stuff. It's amazing when you watch people and you can tell, well, you'll see. It'll be fun. And these are the players that are making $1 million. We're bringing people in here that are making $1 million, $500,000, and you want to see what it is they know and what it is they have to say. It'll be fun. So I think we're pretty much done for tonight, Trace. It's 8:02 here in the Mountain Region, 10:02 in San Francisco, 7:02. 7:02
here in the Pacific.
That's right.
Coast. So I think so too, Val. Always great insight. Always lots of fun hanging out with you, and of course of all of our members here that do take time to come and join us. It's very much appreciated. We certainly do appreciate you, and don't forget that we do have our Monday and Wednesday calls, same time, same channel. And I believe we're doing our are brainstorming on Tuesday too. We had a great time last week, so we'll put all that stuff out in the mail. But thanks for joining us, everybody. Really appreciate your time, and we'll see you again on the next Sunday night sessions. Bye for now.
See you guys. You're off. Have a great night.
Good night. Bye-bye.